Oh, good afternoon, tubulators. It's a nice March 11th, the day after my birthday. Yeah, so any of you who are friends with me on Facebook, thank you for the birthday wishes. So here's our next upgrade for the truck here. I went on to Summit Racing and bought this Borgeson steering shaft here. And yeah, we're gonna go ahead and put it in the truck. I'm gonna rip out the old one, which should be pretty straightforward. It's a 10mm bolt on the steering box end, and then up here, I can't remember what size it is, but this one will be whatever the set screw is, and then yeah. So this was 230 bucks. This one does. Sorry guys, this one does not have the rubber insulator in there. I opted out for any of that. I don't care. I think these are kind of cut to fit. I'm hoping that maybe we can take the shaft out. I'm hoping that the factory shaft is roughly the same length. We do need it to collapse a little bit. So we'll just get that one out and see how this fits. I did have one oopsie over here. I put some kitty litter down and it rained and I forgot about it. So in the last video on this, we did we kind of fixed the track bar bracket issues. We replaced the steering box with a redhead unit, which has been doing very well. I put a couple hundred miles on it so far, and it's been steering great, a lot better than it was with these new fixes. So I'm hoping that the steering feel will be even less spongier. Right now it's spongy because of the rag joint down here, and yeah, I could probably put a new U-joint or new rag joint in there, but this thing has got some nice USA freaking roller bearing U-joints in it. So actually I don't even know if they're roller joint. They could be solid for all I know, but yeah, they're nice. And yeah, that thing's toy. We got a 10mm bolt down here, and we have, I think is a 12. Kind of got this AC hose on me, so it's a little dinkered around here. But yeah, we'll undo these two fat fasteners, and that's coming out. Nope, it's a 13. Of course it is. Yeah, who didn't see that happening? You guys can kind of see what I'm doing. Yeah, this was a 13mm here. 10 on the bottom. I think we are probably going to have to trim that shaft down, but that's what I got metal chop saw for. I'm like, that's a table saw. No, you didn't see my chop saw. You salt belt guys are gonna be pissed off about that. Yeah, it's doesn't feel like it has any play in it, but it's she's original. Well, actually not original to this truck at all. This shaft came from I think a brick nose truck. Yeah, this rag joint's not too bad. And then the middle part of the shaft is not too bad either. Okay, so what I did to figure out what length I need is you gotta take these apart just a little bit. There's a screw on this end that locks this piece in here. It keeps it from coming out. And then when you take this lower half off, there's a spring in here, a little leaf spring. Make sure you don't lose that, because this keeps this preloaded, keeps it from walking around. So anyways, you get this on your steering box to make sure it fits, for one thing. This guy here, or gal, because you know. Anyways, this one will put up on your steering column, also making sure it fits too. That's kind of important. So we get that up in there, And then this is gonna like clunk on the frame because it's too long. And then I'll kind of put these up against each other, and it'll be something kind of like this. And if I cut right here, it'll leave me probably 3 to 4 inches of travel, so that way if you crash, this will collapse a little bit before blowing that U-joint out and doing who knows what else. So what we'll do is we'll cut this down. We will have to drill a little hole for that screw that catches right here, and then we'll clean up any burrs and call it a day. Okay, here we go. On fire. Okay. So now we'll need to get in there. Well, we don't need this now. I need to clean those burrs up. Fairly straight cut, not too big. I'll clean the burrs up, clean the outer edge, and then we should be good to go. Oh, more popcorn tires. Got the burrs cleaned up. Took a rat tail file. Probably could have used a finer one, but that'll be fine. You just clean up the burr, and then take this end to the bench grinder and just round her off. Perfect. We're just gonna ream this out. I'm gonna wipe it off, and then we're gonna grease it up. I don't think I'm gonna put that screw in there, because when this goes in the truck, it's gonna be something like this. And I would imagine if you crash to such a way that this pulls apart, because the other one, the factory one, will pull apart. There's nothing that keeps it together, so I don't think I'm going to bother drilling that hole. But yeah, if you crash and this pulls apart out that far, I think you have more problems to worry about. So I'm going to go test fit this. Well, I mean, it doesn't matter at this point because we've already cut it. So, but yeah, this thing is solid, rock solid. So for you guys doing this at home, if I didn't explain it clear enough, I'll just make it real easy for you, sizing this up. Pretty much, God, this thing weighs like not even a pound compared to that other one's heavy. So to size it up, basically, you don't even need to measure. This lower portion here, you're not going to cut on the other end. At least for this truck anyways. This end here, you can literally just match up from one end to the other end, make your mark. Maybe cut a little bit less to give yourself some more room for error. But that's pretty much all you need to do, is just trim it to match the factory shaft, and then just slam her home. And what's cool is because we don't have a keyed notch, we just have splines. What we can do is we can actually reposition our steering wheel just using those splines. Because right now mine's leaning to the left, driving straight. And I did adjust my track bar to kind of kick the axle over a little bit, and that's why. So now I have an adjustment here that I can do, which is really nice. So I can straighten out my steering wheel. Because everything else down there doesn't need to be adjusted. I don't want to adjust it. I got it how I want it. So yeah, you pretty much put your set screw back in here. I will have to put that spring back in here and the boot and zip tie that back on. And grease this up. On that end there, you put your set screws in there, and that one that's really long right there, you see, we're gonna take the whizzy wheel and rip that one off. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'll bring you back when I'm done. Okay, just testing the steering feel without even assembling that stuff 100%. Just looks like that. I got the steering wheel centered how I want it. My wheels are pointing straight. I always point my wheels straight when I come in. And then my steering wheel's to the right this time. I might go one spline over. Yeah, I'll go one spline over. Okay, let's do the before and after. So the first clip is going to be before the track bar fix and steering box replacement. The second clip will be the track bar fix and the steering box replacement. And this one will show you the steering wheel movement with the Borgeson shaft. So here we go. And look at this. Like there's a little bit of a ka-chunk there, but I can't find that ka-chunk, but it's not in the tie rods or ball joints or anything. Okay, let's unlock the steering wheel. Oh, look at that. Like that right there is flexing the rag joint, but this, wow. Oh, okay, I gotta go clean up. We gotta drive this. So it looked like it was still bad in the second clip, but I'm gonna tell you right when I feel resistance. Right there. And then right there. Now this is me forcing it over. And it's actually, as I move the wheel, every bit of the wheel movement, Jesus, can you be any louder? Every bit of this steering wheel movement is moving the tire. You can't see it, but it's moving it as I turn this. So that's huge. You know, I should have bought the steering shaft a long time ago. This is fairly inexpensive to take out a lot of play. I mean, that really took out a lot of play. Actually, mostly took out sponginess. That's the one thing that I hate. I'm trying to make this truck where it has basically rock solid steering instead of, you know, just being like, you know, it feels like it's a, can't even talk. But it's just steering through yarn, you know? So on the steering box, I spent, I think that was, I think it was $376. Without a core, you're looking at $476. And it's ported for hydraulic ram steering. But yeah, so that steering box, that took a lot of play out. Fixing that bolt, that took some springiness out of the steering box, or out of the steering. And then we have this. Like I said, I opted for the one without the insulator. This is not a not necessarily a going to town rig. So we get that in there. But yeah, this should have been done a long time ago. I mean, I've always pretty much had the money. I just didn't want to spend it. I wanted to spend it on other stuff, I guess. Yeah, so this is pretty much what it looks like now. Oh crap, tubes. I forgot to tell me. My nose is running, I know. Uh-oh, tubes. I have to go to work today. I don't want to go to work today. I want to stay here and do truck and farm stuff. I am going to be working on a skid steer for an upcoming video. I don't know if I should put that on this channel or the Johnson's Garage channel. But either way, you guys are going to get some content on servicing a skid steer. Caterpillar 279D. Yeah, people ask like, hey, where do you get a new steering shaft for these trucks? And it's like, you can get on to Borgeson or Summit Racing and get a Borgeson steering shaft. We're gonna go for a little test drive after this, and we're gonna see how the steering feels with no rubber insulator. Usually you have the rubber insulator to kind of minimize like road noise and feel. In this case, this has got a 4VT Cummins in it, so I'm not too worried about vibrations. When I get some time later, I gotta work later today, otherwise I'd do this, but we have a Heim joint for the other end of our track bar. The only problem is, like, it seemed like I could only get these with a 3/4 hole. So we're gonna have to bore out my steering or my track bar bracket And we're gonna have to put a new bolt in there anyways. That one's been stretched out, so that's an upcoming video. Like I said, I'm focusing on steering. It can go. So, just like that. Just crank that down. And then this one here will crank down on. Now the rest of that plate, all my steering column is trash at the end. That bearing's gone out. Oops. I'll have to address that. But it's not loose on that shaft though, so that's good. I might have to find another steering column or figure out if we can take this column apart and put a new bearing in it. This is why you just buy a new truck. Yeah, that's good. Take this set screw. There we go. Yeah, we got about 2 inches of whatchamacallit there. And then you don't want to go down too far because you don't want to have this screw and nut rub on the steering box. So all this movement here is not mechanical. What it is it's all that springiness that we got in our track bar bushing. Let's see where we're at. Yeah, that's all spring, all steering, no slop. Let's take this for a drive. Ready to go for a little ride, old Betty here? I got you aimed so you can see the steering, because that's the whole point of this video. I got her a little to the right. We'll see. I might move her over one more. It's a little warm right here. It's almost 60 degrees out. We'll take her around town. Yeah, it's like instant. Let's go for a drive. Now all the play is going to be straight up track bar. See how she does on the highway. So far it feels pretty good. I can still tell that I have play in that track bar bushing. Feel a little bit more vibration in the steering wheel. See how annoyed I get with it. I gotta get some different shock leaders for this thing. My parents were giving me some. So, sorry about all the noise. It's a nice day in Vernonia. T-shirt and shorts kind of weather. Motorcycles are out. And you got me flying up the hill. I was only doing 40. That's 5 over the speed limit going out. So was it worth the, let's see, what are we at? $600 into steering. That's pretty much what I spent. Steering box, steering shaft, and well, we're probably gonna put another $300 in to do the steering ram that I've been talking about in the last few videos. Yeah, was it worth spending $500-600 on the steering shaft and the steering box? Oh, absolutely. Red Dead steering gear. They did pretty good on that box so far. Like I said, I've got 200-ish miles on it. No problems already. I haven't had any leaks yet. We've got the same one in our friend's Ford Bronco that we put in probably 4 or 5 years ago, and that one is perfect. No leaks, no play. Pretty good steering on that one. I'm gonna have to get Todd to get himself a Borgeson steering shaft, and we'll upgrade the Bronco with that. But yeah, the Borgeson steering shaft on these trucks, way to go. This steering shaft that they make, and I'll put a link down below in the description, they make it for the 80 to 97 F-Series. I think that's what it said. Or no, excuse me, 80 to 87. So at least that's what it said on the sticker. 80 to 87 is what it said. But yeah, I'll put a link down below. Oh, Todd's got an 89. Well, we'll buy one for his. So they make it for the OBS, the brick nose and OBS trucks. I'm really happy with these little upgrades. Well, actually, they're fairly major. Steering is one thing that has been a problem with this truck. And originally I thought it was because it was the twin I-beam. Nope. It's been steering box and steering shaft, and this originally had a tilt steering column. That was completely clapped out. I mean, I had this much play before, so yeah, this truck finally drives pretty close to a newer truck, or at least it drives better than it would have when it was new. So yeah, I'm happy. Anyways, guys, I think that's gonna be it just for a wee little bit. Well, actually, no, we got that rod end we're going to do. That's going to be one more video, and we're going to do the rod end on the track bar. And then that should really tighten up the steering even more. Pretty much just trying to get it down to where it's... Man, I'm not going to get it as tight as that car over there, but certainly want it to where it's not squirrely going down the highway. I also have another thing for this. I believe my parents are buying it. It's for my 29th birthday. We haven't ordered it yet, but that's gonna happen this weekend, and yeah, so oh, I was gonna mention I got something juicy for this truck. I'm like, oh, that's gonna do it for now. Popcorn tires. Uh-oh, here comes a Cummins. We'll wait. I ordered $700 worth of front axle stuff. We're going to be putting a limited slip differential in, which is my compromise between an open diff and a locker, and we're going to be going to 409 gears, which will match up with our 410s in the back. I'm doing the 409 because it's kind of how Ford did things to overdrive the front axle. It's supposed to help a little bit with the steering. 409, 410, a little negligible, but the 409 gears, a main reason why I went with them, or that 409 setup instead of 410, like I kind of wanted to, is Jeff Bronco Graveyard has the Dana Spicer 409 gears, brand new. And then the limited slip is a Dana Spicer, and then pretty much all the bearings and seals are Dana Spicer. So that is going to be a project we're going to do here in a little bit. Hopefully I get that stuff soon. And we'll tear into that. There's probably a couple of tools I need to buy, but other than that, that is something that we're going to be doing, getting this front end matched up and getting it to where I can use my four-wheel drive on the road. I like when it's icy or whatever out, because right now I can't. You got to use it in mud. It's really just annoying. So, anyways, guys, I gotta stop jibber jabbering. I'll see you in the next video. Check out the links down below in the, you know what AVE says, the doobly-doo. And subscribe, like the video, and we'll catch you next time. Oh, one last brain fart. Right out of the junkyard truck. Still needs a 5-speed. Swapped onto it. That's kind of what I had planned. I bounced around thinking I was going to do an automatic swap. Nope. We're going to do the 5-speed swap on this. I have one. I got to fix it because I broke it. But basically, this is where I'm going to need some help. I can't really get to this right yet. So this truck's going to sit unless I can get some help with fundage. But basically, I need $1,000 to get all the clutch and hydraulic stuff and miscellaneous items that we're going to need. I priced everything out, and yet it's literally almost $1,000 to do. We're going to do brand new flywheel. I got to get a new motor plate for the transmission. We got to do a new starter, all the hydraulics. It all adds up real quick, and I think it came in around $700 or $800. And then I'm gonna have to do a custom rear drive shaft, and I'm probably gonna have a new front drive shaft made as well. Might as well, right? I still gotta get clutch pedals for it. So this needs $1,000, $1,200 worth of work. So if you guys want to help out, help me speed this up while I'm working on Betty. PayPal down below, and I think I have a Patreon, but nobody uses it.